We're going to dive right into this conversation with Regina, who's amazing. So I'm really honored to get to have this conversation with her. She's a subject matter expert in delegation and owner of a thriving virtual assistant firm. With over 18 years of experience, she's been helping leaders lighten their load while amplifying their impact. And she's here to share her insights, which will resonate deeply with both owners and C-suite executives in this industry. So delegation, it's not just about handing off tasks. It's about trust, it's about growth, and letting go of the need to do it all. So many operational owners are afraid to delegate tasks because they worry about losing control. So what mindset shifts helped you overcome the fear of losing control or having things done differently than you would do them?
Art of delegation, it's not about losing control. It's about making space for what really matters. Again, have you guys ever read this book called The 80-20 Principle? As owners, as CEOs, as executive level, we have to understand what is our 20%, right? What is the 20% that moves the needle? Again, what is it something that only we can do as CFO, CEO? Everything else needs to be delegated. We have to try to stay away from getting caught up in what we call the whirlwind. Do you guys have that in meetings too, at your board meetings, and go, oh, I'll do that. And all of a sudden, you're caught up in the whirlwind, and it takes you away from the 20%. You have to have discipline and like this laser focus. Don't get caught in the whirlwind. You see it coming, let it pass you. Let your team do that. Delegate it and empower them. You know, I'm a big believer in learning is earning, and the most powerful books that I've ever read was called Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. And this is how you empower your team, or we have a problem. You have to stop them and say, did you do your 1-3-1? And this is one of the most powerful things that I've ever learned. 1-3-1 is this method of going, I need you to figure out what the one problem is. Because if you figure out and pinpoint what the one problem is, then you've halfway solved the problem, right? Give me your 3 viable solutions, and what is your number 1 recommendation? So for example, I'll have a virtual assistant and say, my client has a recruiting problem. And I said, that's very vague, right? I don't want to solve your problems, that's why I hired you. And I said, did you do your 1-3-1? And they'll say, no. I say, okay, come back. And she'll come back in about a few hours and she'll say, Regina, the problem is that this client has a 37-page application for a caregiver. I said, geez, who has a 37-page? Doctors don't even have to fill out a 37-page application. No wonder why. So she's identified what the bottleneck is, right? And she gave me her 3 viable solutions, X, Y, and Z, and she said, my solution, my recommendation is that we gotta get that application down to 3 pages. And then if the caregiver can do those 3 pages, get them through the interview, X, Y, and Z, then we'll have the other things broken into little bite-sized pieces, more digestible sized pieces, and boom. And so if there's any little nugget that you guys take away, it's the 1-3-1. I love that. You are empowering your team, and that's a great mindset shift as executives.
Very good. All right.
And we were going to be implementing the largest organization.